is Penny Wolf, and today I have a video in regards to sell these clothes on eBay, what brands to sell on eBay from a full-time reseller. If you've not watched any of my other videos before, I sell on eBay and I sell on Poshmark. I've been selling on eBay for quite a few years, but Poshmark just the last few years. But I got some brands to go over. I know, especially if you're new to reselling, you go out there and you go to the store and you start looking at the reaction. You're going, how will I learn all these brands, right? But you will. And even if you've been reselling for quite a while and you're a seasoned reseller, it's always great to keep up on, the brands, because brands change. Something that sold a few years ago might not be selling for very much now. Anyways, we'll get right on to it. And I kind of made a list, and there's men and women's on this list. And the first one is Johnny Was. And Johnny Was, I think, is all women's. I haven't ever seen any Johnny Was men. But generally, they're very heavily embroidered. And a lot of times they're just like a shirt button up. However, I do have a blazer listed right now. Most of the time, they're very colorful, or they have a lot of colorful thread. However, I also have a solid black one listed right now. So there is exceptions to that. But Johnny Was is a really great brand. There's also another name that it goes under, and I think it's, I'm trying to think of it. I can't think of it right now, but there's another facet of it. But basically, if you see Johnny Was, you're going to want to pick it up. And it usually sells pretty fast. Now, these two pieces I've had for a while, but remember, one is a blazer. Blazers don't move very quickly. The second thing, the other one is solid black, and usually Johnny Was is very colorful. Anyhow, they range anywhere from $40 to $99 used. So that's a really great return on investment. The next item or brand that we're going to discuss is Elaine Fisher. Elaine Fisher is more of a mature brand, and it's been very popular on eBay for quite a few years, and also it is popular on Poshmark. However, generally their sweaters is what I pick up mostly, although they make, pullover tops and sleeveless and things like that too. But their sweaters are really great to pick up. They can run anywhere from $20 to $70. It's going to depend on what it's made out of too. If it's wool or if it's cashmere, then, that's a higher priced item. They do sit for a little while though. They don't move super quick, but they always sell, it seems like. And I know some resellers, a few of them had mentioned about stop picking it up as much, but it does always sell. It's very much a classical brand. The next one is Tory Burch. And I don't find Tory Burch very often. I've come across it only a couple of times. One, I think, was a dress. The other one was a big logo t-shirt. And it was actually like almost like a vinyl, the logo that was on it. It was really cool. But basically, for the most part, maybe you're going to come across the dresses. If you do, $25 to $75. That's a really great brand. The shoes, I don't really do shoes that much. You would want to check comps on that, and also make sure that they're authentic when you get to the shoes. Purses, I don't do it all because of that. You really got to know purses, because there's a lot of fakes out there, and there's also some that are really great looking fakes. It's hard to tell. You really got to know your purses, and I don't do resell purses. The next one is Lily Pulitzer. Now, in regards to this brand, they did a collaboration with Target a few years ago, and it kind of, I think, dropped the prices on some stuff. Now, I don't know if it says on the tag, that it's Lily Pulitzer for Target, but it kind of dropped the prices a little bit. But they're traditional dresses, and they're very noted for a bright, more like floral, and it's usually like a pink and a blues or greens. It's quite bright. Those always really sell, and believe it or not, solid color. I sold a dark blue one that had like gold on it. It was kind of embroidery, and I think it was sleeveless, and sold for quite a bit. Anyhow, the prices on Lily Pulitzer can go anywhere from $20 to $79. I'd say the average might be around $35. You don't want to pay up a ton for these brands, but if you do come across them, then you can say, oh, now that's a brand. There's some that I pick up no matter what, and some I don't. Lily Pulitzer, I seen a sweater a couple weeks ago, and I didn't pick it up because it wasn't on sale. This week it went on sale and I got it for $1. It wasn't that great. It was solid. I think it had an issue with it too. It might have had a little stain. But anyways, the next item I always pick up this brand. Always. It's Segments, and it is Segments, and it's made out of Marina Wool, and it looks like usually like a long sleeve t-shirt, but it's actually Marina Wool. And a lot of times at your thrift stores it'll be in with the long sleeve shirts, but most of the time I think I've only found solid colors. I could be wrong, but I think most of the time it's only been solid colors. They sell very quickly. I don't usually keep them very long at all. They can be V-neck or scoop neck, and they sell for $19 real quickly. Even if I, pay $2 for it, that's a really great return on investment. One thing I want you to keep in mind too, even though we're going over a brands list to pick up, these are brands that sell quite quickly or is worth a little bit more money. Remember, when you're selling clothing, a lot of it is your bread and butter brands, your very average brands. And I don't mean like brands that don't sell. I mean brands that do sell, but they're a little bit more average. They might be your $10 profit or your $15 profit, unless you're going to go all out and just do the high end. But remember, it's easier for a customer to spend $10 or $15. You'll have more people that will spend that than versus somebody that's going to spend $79 on a used dress. It might take longer to do that. Plus you have maybe more money. Maybe that cost you $5 or $7 to buy it, which is fine if you're going to turn it into 79, but it may take a little while. Or you can spend that $5 or $7 and buy dollar items that you know will sell at $10 or $15. It's all, you got to kind of play the game there on what kind of, model you want for your business. But one thing, the biggest key in reselling is you got to list. The more you list every single day consistently, the more sales you'll have every day. Right now, I find it's about half. They say that you can reach where it's the same eventually, but I find I was listing 15 for quite a long time there, I'd sell about an average 7 a day, give or take, slower, busy times, but that was about average. They say you eventually get up to where you list 15, you sell 15, but I think that takes a while. I really don't know the whole details of that, but the more you can list every day, volume, the more you're going to make every day. The next brand is Icebreaker. I picked this up no matter what. I sold a beautiful women's sweater, and this didn't look like a sweater either. It was very thin, and they might have had it in a long sleeve shirts, but I can't remember. And it was purple, and it kind of draped, and it was very long. It was beautiful, and the way that it draped across, it's Marina Wool, and I think it sold for around $70. And in my thrift store where I purchased it, they didn't really recognize Icebreaker. In fact, I picked up another one this week. I think I got it for half off. They only had a price for it was a jacket, a men's camouflage jacket. I don't know, between $3 and $5. I got half off on it. However, when I got it home, I found out that there was issues with it. It's got some spots inside. It's got a hole by the cuff, but I still listed it. Anyhow, that brand, prices can be all over. Like I said, I sold that sweater for $70, and the jackets, I don't know. I think I have it priced at $40 or $50. I'll have to come down though because of the issues it has, but maybe $30 to $50. But they sell in some of the other Icebreakers, $70. That brand I pick up no matter what. The next one is Arat. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. It's Ariat. I pick it up no matter what. Now, I've only found it in men's. I don't know if they make women's. But the men's shirt, if you go with the long sleeve button up, is $25 to $50. It just depends. Now, there are some sellers on there selling some brand new, too. You're going to have a little bit of competition there. However, I bought a t-shirt a while ago, and it was nothing fancy. It was kind of plain. It was beige, and it sold right away. And I don't know if it had issues or not, too. It might have. And it, sold really quickly. I don't even know how much it sold for now. It seems like it was around $20. But anyways, that's a really great brand to pick up. It sells really quickly every time I buy it. It's an outdoor brand. The next one is Patagonia. Patagonia makes men and women's. The men's jackets on average go for around $50, but they can be a little lower than that. They can be higher than that. But that's just like your average jacket, or maybe like a sweatshirt zip up or something. Their women's sweaters can go for quite a little bit. And when you get into the actual coats, like a puffer coat, that really adds up. And they sell, quite quickly. The next item that I pick up still, and some people don't. It was very trending a few years ago. However, the last few years, it's not selling for as much money or as quickly as Robert Graham. You can still always get usually around $25 for it. I have some listed right now for I think $40 or $49, but there are 2XL men's, and they are in excellent shape. And I'll take a little less for it. I've already sold one. I don't know how much it sold for. It was between $30 and $40. But Robert Graham, it was an easy, oh man, $50 to $80. But now it's really went down in price. Harley Davidson. Now I find that Harley Davidson men sells much quicker than women's. Women's, I sit on it for a while usually. It takes a while and it doesn't sell for as much money, although it always usually eventually sells. Even just your t-shirts, but if you get anything that's got like, embellished logo, when you get into the jackets, they can be worth a lot. And there's also a Harley Davidson, I think it's called a 3D t-shirt, and it had like something on the bottom where it says 3D. Those can go for hundreds of dollars, like $300 to $500. I mean, it's astronomical. I haven't come across one of those. If I have, I didn't realize it. No, whatever. But anyhow, Harley Davidson still sells. It does. And Harley Davidson's men's button-up shirts, they sell. Prices kind of can be all over with Harley Davidson. $25 to $35, depending on what it is. $100 for some items. Tommy Hilfiger Vintage. Now, I thought that was maybe going out. However, 90s is trending right now. But this has been popular for a while. I would check comps before I would buy very much of it or spend very much. But it's the vintage Tommy Hilfiger. I say men's because I have some women's and it hardly moves, but it would be like big striped sweaters, the real bold from like the 80s, 90s, or the big stripes this way in the button-up shirts. And you can check on there and check comps under vintage and kind of look at some of the labels too. But it does still sell. Some of them, between $20 and $50. I don't pick up the regular Tommy Hilfiger button-up men's shirts. I don't anyways, because it just seems like there's too many. Burberry. Burberry is a really great brand, but you're going to want to make sure that it's authentic. But their shirts, men's can go anywhere from $25 to $50 would be an average range. But if you get into their traditional, I think it's called a tartan plaid, and where it's brown and it has black and red and the beige or brown on it, they can go for a lot of money, even up to $90. However, you want to make sure that they are real. I do pick up all Burberry as long as it is a real piece, whether it's men or women's. I don't know if I found like a women's polos or men's polos. Those are also really popular too, and they'll have their trademark, thing, their tartan plaid, like trim. It'll be on the arm or on the collar. Loudmouth, I found usually sells pretty fast for me. It's a golf brand. And Loudmouth, their shirts can go anywhere from $15 to $40, and that would be like a men's button-up or whatever. But it's gonna go all over. Really watch it. The bold, bright prints are gonna be worth more money and probably sell quicker. The shorts, same thing. They're real bold usually, $25 to $40 on the shorts. And sold a pullover. It was like a long sleeve top, men's, and it was like a quarter zip or something like that, and it sold pretty quickly. Now I did buy some Loudmouth golf skirts here lately, but skirts don't sell really that quickly. But I have sold every piece of them. However, in one was brand new with tags. One got returned because I didn't see where there was a little slit on the rear, and I mean barely it had raised apart. Barely. You could barely see the end little string in the second one there, and the person returned it. I wonder if she just didn't want it or didn't fit her and she wanted to return it. Well, she could have returned it because I have returns anyways. I don't know. I'm not saying that she lied or anything like that, but I questioned it because it was that minute and I missed it. I mean, I would have had to sit there and pull the material apart to probably even notice that. I'm going to relist it, but I'm going to note it, and I'll pull it apart and with, and point to it with something, and that way, there'll be a photo of it and it'll be noted. But I'll relist that, and they were small sizes too, like 0 or 2s or something. One might have been a 4, but I don't know. Vineyard Vine ties. I've heard that those are popular. I don't know how quickly they sell. They're between 10 and 20, but watch ties, because ties a lot of times don't sell very quickly. I know they're great to pick up and they're excellent to list in store, but they don't sell really quick. But there is one big tie seller, but he has like thousands of ties listed. And he makes a lot of money, but he has thousands of listings too. And I don't know how often he lists, how many a day. And but anyways, that's pretty much the list for today. There's a lot of brands that are really great to pick up, but as you get going, you'll learn more and more. But it's really great to watch the other resellers and the reseller videos, because I tell you, brands change. What was popular a year or two ago might not be popular now, and there'll be new brands that are popular. It just depends, you know, and it changes very quickly. And then there'll be brands that I learn brands all the time, you know, come across them. One thing, a good indication too, not always, but if you find like on a women's top or a sweater, where the label is at, if it's only sewn on the sides, just the edge, or just barely sewn on, instead of, you know, sewn all the way around, barely sewn on, a lot of times that can be high dollar. But watch it, there are some inexpensive, like knockoff, like they're really cheap ones that are doing it too now, but you can tell because it'll be really straight, and then you can go from there. A lot of times if it has like US size and EUR sizes and things like that, like I had a sweater yesterday, it was like a large, but it was a size 40. Sometimes that'll be indications, but remember, cashmere usually always sells no matter what brand. Even if it's an inexpensive brand, it might not sell for as much or as quickly, but you get into the brands that are a little bit more known, then cashmere really sells. Or also Marina Wool right now is very popular. I've been selling a lot of J. Crew little cardigans. Some of them had some bold print and they were really cool looking, but some of them have been solid. And I sold recently a Banana Republic one too, is a cardigan. And but the cardigans, even if they're not real new, you know, like in the last few years, which you can tell on J. Crew by looking at the style tag, they'll have like OH, you know, 15 or something like that. That means it was holiday 15, and they'll have a style number. But anyways, but that's been selling, you know, quite quickly. And alpaca wool, that's another one. And if you find Bavarian Collection, that brand you're going to want to pick up no matter what, even if it's not alpaca wool, because it does sell. It might sit longer if it's not the wool, but the wool sweaters, I sold one for like $159. It's great. I just listed another sweater yesterday, but it wasn't by that brand. It was called Sumac. I'd not ever heard of that, but it's alpaca, and it's worth quite a little bit. I think I listed it for $49. Another brand that a lot of people talk about and list is Soft Surroundings. Now, I find that Soft Surroundings kind of sits. It does. I don't know. But I watch one reseller, and she sells mostly on Posh, and she says it's one of her bread and butter brands. Maybe it's the style or how much you price it at, but you know, 20 to 40 depending on what it is. But it used to sell, I think, for more money and quicker on eBay a few years ago, but it does still sell, but I don't find it moves as quickly. Do your comps first, you know, before you spend very much on it. Anyhow, hopefully you've got some great valuable content out of this. Please subscribe. Please push the thumbs button if you can. Many prosperous sales to ya. May you find some really great items thrifting. Have a great day.